talking, I don't sweat that. If they don't trust me either, I respect that. But she need down the ride, oh I bet that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that. Don't forget that, don't forget that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that. Don't forget that, don't forget that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is J.H. How y'all doing, Postal Family? Is everybody good? Is everybody cool? Everybody clean? Are you crisp? Are you feeling irie today? So, one of my peoples, Miss Sunshine, congratulations on your retirement. Many blessings and thank you for your service. Sent me a little screenshot that people were a little concerned because I spoke about postal workers having to be liable for damages, and obviously, you know, everybody went into a frenzy, and there's a lot of people that go into a frenzy. So here are the facts behind it, because I refuse to continue to debate with my postal family, and people think that for some reason I just make stuff up in my head, but it's in the contract. And we'll explain it for everybody. We'll break it down for everybody so that we can all see and hear exactly what's happening. Now, for those that post on Reddit and all that other stuff, once I'm done with this, you can go run tell this. Article 28, Section 3. Damage to USPS property and vehicles. This is not just for the carriers. This is for everybody. And I will break it down step by step. Accountability should not be a major concern for us. But being that you want to know, an employee shall be financially liable for any loss or damage to property of the employer, including leased property and vehicles, only when the loss or damage was the result of the willful and deliberate misconduct of such employee. Again, an employee shall be financially liable for any loss or damage to the property of the employer, including leased property and vehicles, only when the loss or damage was the result of the willful and deliberate misconduct of such employee. I am going to break it down for you even more, because people like to use those words, willful and deliberate misconduct, and try to break, oh, well, they're going to have to prove that. This is in the union contract. This has been there. It's just a matter they're going to start enforcing it. Now, I told you this months ago. I just brought it up again. And now they're having a fit about it. But I'm going to break it down for you even more, because that's apparently what I have to do for everybody. But that's okay. My thing is to pass information. This is not to scare anybody. I promise you this really isn't. When I pass information, if you don't like it, it doesn't change the information. We don't debate facts. Willful and deliberate misconduct. Oh, man. Ignoring safety procedures. Deliberately bypassing or ignoring safety protocols such as wearing proper personal protection equipment, not using equipment properly, or not following established safety guidelines. Intentional damage to inventory. Purposely mishandling products or equipment such as damage to inventory. This could include careless forklift operation, dropping items, or throwing inventory. Theft or vandalism. Substance abuse. Being under the influence of drugs or alcohol while on the job, which can impair judgment that leads to accidents. Boy, we got a lot of those there. falsifying records, intentionally entering incorrect data into inventory systems, falsifying records related to shipments, inventory counts, or safety inspections. Unauthorized use of equipment, using warehouse equipment or machinery in ways that are not authorized or safe, such as joyriding on forklifts or operating equipment without proper training. Sabotage, deliberately tampering with equipment or systems leading to malfunctions or failures that disrupt warehouse operations. Workplace violence, threatening or engaging in physical altercations with coworkers or supervisors, creating an unsafe and hostile work environment. Unauthorized access, entering restricted areas without permission, compromising security protocols, and potentially putting the safety and security of the warehouse at risk. These are considered deliberate and misconduct in a warehouse setting. Now let's break it down for my carriers. For the ones that thought that Jay just makes stuff up. Deliberate and willful misconduct while driving refers to intentionally reckless or dangerous behavior when behind the wheel. Excessive speeding, driving well above the speed limit, especially in areas where it's clearly unsafe to do so. They have these GPS trackers. They don't just track your vehicle. They track everything around you. They know where the speed limits are. Everything. It breaks it down. I witnessed it yesterday. I see this updated system that they have. It is detailed. It shows where there's heavy traffic areas. It shows where the traffic is moving, what direction. It shows where there was an accident. It shows your vehicle's almost getting into an accident. It shows hard acceleration. It shows hard braking. It shows hard turn. Everything that you can think of goes into that little GPS. It just doesn't track where you're at. Aggressive tailgating. How do they know that you've aggressively tailgated? Because people have cameras everywhere. Everything that I do when I show my videos at my DDC classes, defensive driving classes, those are videos from people that have submitted them. There's cameras everywhere. Running red lights. These are considered willful and deliberate. Ignoring red traffic signals. Driving under the influence. Operating a vehicle while impaired by alcohol or drugs knowingly puts people and others at risk. That's deliberate. You get into an accident and they decide to drug test you. Don't be mad at Jay. This is in the contract. It has been in the contract. Road rage. Intentionally aggressive or violent behavior towards others drivers, such as cutting them off, brake checking, or using offensive gestures. Distracted driving. This is all intentional. Texting and using a phone while you're driving. That's intentional. Get into an accident because you're texting. This is what I'm talking about. Street racing. Y'all ain't racing those little LOVs. Ignoring traffic signals and signs. Blow through a stop sign. If you go and drive into a school zone and they know where the school zones are, it shows what time they are. I'm telling you, the system that they have in place, other companies have always had this, where they're able to track everything and all this other stuff. We're just getting the stuff. And they're enforcing the stuff. Reckless overtaking. Passing in other vehicles in dangerous or reckless manner, such as a blind curve or in heavy traffic. Driving without lights at night. Intentionally driving without headlights or tail lights at night. So these scenarios do happen. The intentional driving without lights at night. So if you just happen to be in one of those raggedy LOVs and your lights go out, a supervisor is supposed to be behind you. A supervisor is supposed to be in front of you, or two vehicles supposed to be escorting you back, or you leave it to the side and then they just pull it. You may not want to sit there that long, but if you intentionally drive a vehicle and willfully and get into an accident, these are the reasons why they are now enforcing this whole Article 28, Section 3. damage to USPS property and vehicles. This is for everybody. I see people jump on forklifts. They don't have, and you get into an accident on a forklift, let's just say, and your license isn't up to speed or it was expired. That's willful and deliberate. Oh, I forgot. Can't forget those things. You can kill somebody on a forklift. I see it at my plant all the time. People hop on the electric pallet jacks and they drive. They don't have licenses. They hit somebody or they damage a piece of property. So now the facts are there for you. The facts. There's no smiles in this. The facts are there. For those that keep thinking that the old man makes things up to fearmonger, it's not the case. The language is there. An employee shall be financially liable for any loss or damage to the property of the employer, including leased property and vehicles, only when the loss or damage was the result of willful or deliberate misconduct of such employee. I gave you all the examples. I don't need to say anything else. Y'all have a good night.
Unexpected expenses stressing you out? Get the money you need now with Loans for Feds, a program designed specifically for federal employees. Bad credit is not a problem. Application is fast and easy with same-day approvals. Apply now.